So you got Julie Chancellor, right, from Valley High School, who's a total fucking piece of shit. She's a total fucking Nazi asshole. She's manipulating your kids. She's fucking over the black people. She's sitting there saying, you know, boy, calling the black kids, boy, do this, boy, pick my cotton, boy, shut the fuck up and listen to your white man. So that's Julie Chancellor. That's what she's doing. Not only does she do that, but she doesn't know her facts. She doesn't know history at all. She'll sit there and dictate history. Here's what happened in history, but it didn't happen the way she said it happened. So not only is she only doing lecture, 5% retention rate with the lectures, right? So she's not educating. She's not teaching anybody whatsoever. Only 5% is being taught, and on top of it, she's teaching incorrect fucking knowledge. So when it comes down to the very beginning, right, the American Revolution, most of the blacks and most of the Indians fought on the British side. She didn't know that. She doesn't know the very beginning of our history. She doesn't know shit. She doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about. She's a dictator. She's a white, privileged woman who's had, you know, $55,000 is what we're paying this asshole to manipulate your kids into a bunch of fucking obedient, compliant nobodies, okay? Straight A's and being valedictorian or doing well in school doesn't say that you're smart. It just says you're obedient. You just follow orders. It doesn't say anything. It doesn't matter if you're smart or not. Well, this all goes down to the fucking Spalding University, right? You go on top of them. Elizabeth Rogers, fucking Jennifer Mangio, Terry Shoon. These are all white women. And you got 99% of Spalding University graduating white women. So that's who succeeds in American education system, okay? If you're a fascist, immoral, unethical fucking piece of shit, and a fascist is, do as I say or I'm going to fuck up your life. Do as I say or there's going to be violence, okay? And that's what Julie Chancellor is. That's what all these white teachers are. 75% to 90% of the teachers are white women. White women. What do privileged, rich white women know about the struggle of a young black boy or girl on the streets? They don't know anything about it. That's why JCPS has got the clout right now. They say 3 strikes you're out, right? No tolerance. No tolerance for what? Insubordination. They don't follow directions well. They're too much of a free thinker. These are all being diagnosed now as fucking, you know, as disorders. These are disorders now. Free thinking is a disorder. Nonconformity is a disorder. When I'm reading about the special education, I'm reading about these IEPs that the special education kids get. That's an individualized education program. So a special education kid comes into class, they have to have a legally binding agreement called an IEP. It's an individualized education program. And what you get with these IEPs, it's a legally binding contract of how you're going to map out that person's educational success. I never had anybody talk to me about my educational success. It never even came into the fucking equation. Just do as the fuck as I said, right? I made straight A's. I did everything that they told me to do. But I wasn't educated. I wasn't, if anything, all they taught me was to be manipulated for the rest of my life. That's who they are. They don't actually give a shit about you. Motherfuckers will spend their entire lives wondering why these assholes don't give a fuck about them. That's because that's what they're trained to do. They're trained, I took teacher training courses, right? 2.5 years worth of training courses, but none of those courses mattered. Special education didn't matter. Methods didn't matter. None of these things mattered. You have a classroom full of soon-to-be teachers. You have a huge opportunity right there to be able to get them to teach one another. We're all going to be teachers, so let us teach. But not one time did Spalding University education ever teach us how to be teachers. Sit down, shut the fuck up, and just be a sit-down, shut-up teacher. That's what you're supposed to do. Well, that's not good enough for me. When I wanted to teach at Western, or at Valley High School, Julie Chancellor, I wanted to actually capture their imagination and get them on board because I want to have something to say. And that's the reason why she was against me. That's the reason why Spalding University is against me, is because they're a bunch of talentless fucking losers. All they give a shit about is compliance, obedience, and submission to authority. That's all they give a shit about. They want you to capitulate. They want you to be a little bitch. Sit down, shut the fuck up, and do as the fuck as you're told. Because that's what's going to make them successful, right? The most successful people were people that followed others. Bullshit. That's what's wrong with this world. It's not obedience is not the problem, or disobedience is not the problem, it's lack of disobedience. The fact that people go along with what they're being told, that's why we're in war, that's why we got poverty, that's why we got all the issues that we have faced in front of us, because people blindly follow other motherfuckers. If they was to actually think on their own, right, I believe the teacher is probably one of the greatest professions in the world. And the reason why it's a good profession is because you're teaching a person how to live, how to be. You know, you're capturing the human spirit, the human mind, and you're saying you could do more. But if you're only lecturing at them the whole time, like Julie Chancellor out of Valley High School, 5% of that lecture is being memorized. Only 5%. She's the one getting an education, and she's sitting there teaching about how the bankers are these good guys, right? Go read about the Gilded Age, and then you got all these fucking wealthy industrialists who's doing really fucking good, but then you have all these violent worker strikes, right? The Pullman strike and Eugene Debs and all this other strikes that are going down. And but she wouldn't tell you that part. She wouldn't tell you that part of the Gilded Age. Gilded because it's coated with gold, and it looks, it's got a veneer. It looks good. It looks like everything's working and everything's doing well, but it's not, because there's a lot of poor people. That's when we had child labor. There was like 12 hours a day children would be in these fucking factories. Nobody gave a shit. Nobody cared, okay? So these industrialists didn't give a fuck, but she's sitting there saying, well, they give money and they give charity, so maybe they're not so evil after all. My God, if you can't be honest about these evil bankers back in before the 1900s, if you can't be honest about them, you can't be honest about the bankers that are fucking everybody up today. So we could fast forward all the lessons up till today. But like the Indians and the blacks, I mean, she can't relate to anybody that's different than herself. She takes her whiteness to a whole nother level, and she's a privileged white. I gotta sit there and take this fucking bullshit from the oppressors. You know, these white women oppressors who's running Malcolm X debate club. They're oppressors, but who gives a shit, right? They're allowed to be shitty. They're women. They're allowed to be as shitty as they want to be. The education system is being run 75% to 90% of white women. And that part of it by itself isn't to blame. The part to blame is them being fascist, psychopath, fucking Nazi dickholes. That's the part where they fuck up. And what they're doing is they're teaching your kids to be manipulated for the rest of their lives. Is that a good education? Is that what you want for your kid, to always be manipulated by some fucking boss man telling them what to fucking do? Or else? No, that's not a good lesson. You know, that's a horrible fucking lesson. Anybody that wants to be shitty to these kids will get their fucking way, because they realize they've seen them in class. When the teacher gets shitty with them, eventually they do as they're told. So how do you get them to go along with it? Well, you don't be nice to them. You don't convince them. You know, I was with Work in America to go around getting petitions, getting signatures on my petition. I couldn't just say, do as the fuck as I say, or else I'm going to send you to ISAP. I'm going to send you to in-school suspension if you don't fucking listen to me. Don't put your head down. That's bullshit. You can't lay down and sleep in my fucking boring-ass class, right? She doesn't get in trouble for having a boring-ass class, but you'll get in trouble for laying your head down in a boring-ass class. So Julie Chancellor's a white supremacist piece of shit, and then you got Spalding University that goes along with them, right? I mean, Elizabeth Rogers, I had known her beforehand, but then as soon as, like, she had called her, automatically, all bets were off. So it was basically one crazy-ass fucking white woman called another crazy-ass fucking white woman, and then I got fucked out of $50,000 in 2.5 years. And then Richard Hudson, he's going to jump up there and say, oh, she's your friend. She's your friend. Bitch, you're a liar. You're a fucking liar. No, she is not my fucking friend. She stole $50,000 away from me. And this is actually, I found an article online that totally says, actually all my material, in some respects, I will get a last laugh, because I'll be a great teacher. I'll be a person that actually has something to offer to the students, that actually has something interesting to say, and they'll want to listen to me because I got something interesting to say. And it won't be all classroom management. Yes, I will need those tactics for the outliers, but I can lead the majority. They don't believe that. What she wanted to do is to smash me into some dumb fuck that just follows whatever she tells what to do, and then for me to be a fascist dickhole just like she is. I'm sorry, Julie, I can't be like you. Sorry, Elizabeth Rogers. Her own fucking husband says that she's a stupid bitch, right? And she admits that she's a stupid bitch, but she's allowed to be a stupid bitch. She's been allowed to be a stupid bitch her whole fucking life. She's a 50, 60-year-old person, and she fucked my life over on a whim, based on hearsay, on a fucking lie. I'm the one that paid the money into Spalding University. Julie Chancellor didn't, but what did I give out of $50,000? Out of $50,000, all I got was 2.5 years of fucking bullshit, where they turned me into the bitch, where they told me, do this, do that, go, you know, run around. And they know I got straight fucking A's, but even Elizabeth Rogers says, oh, academic knowledge doesn't mean shit. It doesn't even fucking matter. No shit. No fucking shit, but that's the fucking name of the game. You sit there and told me to do all this shit. I did all the fucking shit. And, you know, they're trying to paint me up. Richard Hudson wants to be all fucking smug and act like, oh, you know what self-fulfilling prophecy is? You stupid-ass motherfucker. Do you know what fucking self-fulfilling prophecy is? Take away everything from anybody, and you tell me if they get fucking pissed off or not, you stupid motherfuckers. It's almost like y'all couldn't wait to be, you know, on the receiving end. But a part of me, I have some sort of, some little, you know, consolation to all this, because ultimately they're a dying profession. What's the fucking point of teaching? The schooling interferes with education. Their schools are not teaching our kids. They're not teaching us in college. They're not teaching us in graduate school. Not at any point in the American education system, from the time that we're in Head Start to kindergarten to the time that we're in graduate school and beyond, was there ever any democracy, freedom, spirituality, ethics, morality? These are all foreign concepts. Definitely not democracy or freedom or autonomy. They will not teach the students to be strong and to be proud of themselves and to be able to get up and make a good speech in front of everybody. What their fucking job is to make you feel insecure so they can always manipulate you for the rest of your life. So they'll tell you to get up there and, do a little speech, and then they'll shit all over it. Well, I only said 3 minutes worth of stuff. Well, I don't give a shit. Here's a page worth of fucking notes about how you suck. Well, you're setting me up to fucking fail. That's what the fuck you're doing. I'm supposed to be comfortable that you're on my fucking side. You ain't on my side. Julie Chancellor even came back and she's like, you know why I'm so hard on you guys, right? It's because I love you. Bitch, you ain't got no fucking love in you at all. You're a fucking dead psychopath. You have no feelings of empathy for anybody on the planet. And all you give a shit about is your will to power. And if you know anything about William Glasser talks about you want to have, there's no such thing as insanity. Insanity is when people cannot communicate with the people that they love. That's where the insanity comes from. And so the problem with relationships is always the will to power. That's a natural human inclination, is our will to power. So you'll have a relationship, but then eventually one of y'all will want to dominate the other, say you need to do this or you got to think like this. And when that happens, that's when the relationship breaks down, because if you can't recognize one person's will to power without recognizing the other person's will to power. But this is all, this is all philosophical, theoretical, but these motherfuckers wouldn't even know about this shit. Kristen Harris, that stupid, fat, ugly, fucking nasty-ass skank of fucking a whole nother fucking planet. She is gross, she's disgusting, and she's a Nazi. She's got nothing going for her, but she's a white female. And she got a job, she got friends, so who gives a shit? She's allowed to fuck anybody else up. Terry Schoon, she only had like 6 people in her fucking class, including one older black gentleman that would dress up in a nice suit and tux every day. Every day, dress up in suit and tux, come into the classroom for 3 fucking hours and just sit in the fucking chair and not talk to anybody. Why'd you get up? Why'd you wash yourself? Why'd you put on all them good clothes? Just to sit down and be a fucking nobody bitch? Just to be a nobody loser? Just to sit there and be a fucking boring-ass intellectual slave that, doesn't make... You're not networking, you're not really learning any good information. Like, it's a complete fucking waste. The entire education system is a complete fucking waste. And it's fucking bullshit. It's not fair. It's not right. It's not right. It's not fair. You have, in JCPS, you have the clout right now. They're suspending lots of black kids. Lots of black kids are being suspended by these white teachers. So JCPS, you got all these white teachers who's sitting there teaching, hierarchical, authoritarian, autocratic dictatorship, totalitarian dictatorship. They want to not only control your behavior, but they want to control your mind. That's totalitarianism. America is a totalitarian police state. You got the white teachers who's controlling, the classrooms, and you got the white police officers who's out in the street. I mean, you want to sit there and talk about who's for black people? There ain't nobody for black people. You're just on the very surface of the damn thing. What do they know? They don't know shit about it. That's why there's so many fucking problems in Louisville. People just want to use punitive damage. They just want to use violence. They just want to fuck up people's lives. And for what? Insubordination. When Kristen Harris told us all to move to the other side of the room, it was implied that if you didn't do it, she was going to fuck your world up. And that's what they're allowed to do. They're allowed to use every classroom tactic in the book, in the fucking book, in order to get your compliance, to get you to submit, to get you to be a stupid fucking bitch, so you'd be manipulated. I think I would have been better off had I been orphaned and know that I had to fight for myself out here. It sucks that the politics beat me again. And I know politics. But part of the politics was go through their fucking rigmarole, do their stupid shit, get my degree, and be a fucking teacher. I went all the way through the 2.5 years, and then they fucked me at the very end. They fucked me. $50,000. And Elizabeth, fucking Rogers just sit there right next to me as if she's a fucking friend, right? But she's an asshole. And the fact that she can going around being so fucking shitty to people is just, it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. And I'm pissed off about at myself because I saw this kind of coming for a while because, I'm not a fucking rabble-rouser. I'm not shaking things up. I'm sitting in class and I'm doing exactly as I'm fucking told. Every once in a while, I have these views, so if I have to participate in the conversation, then I'm going to say something. Oh, I'm like Mark Twain. I think schooling interferes with my education. Oh, now I got a target right on my fucking forehead, right? Because I quoted Mark Twain. Well, Mark Twain is the one who coined the Gilded Age. He coined that term, the Gilded Age. But we can't do anything Mark Twain says. You know, Huckleberry Finn, Tom Sawyer, they're always playing hooky from school. And they didn't take no stock in dead people. They didn't give a shit about the fucking religious bullshit. All them nuns trying to civilize them. Motherfuckers. You ain't civilizing shit. You're the one that needs to be civilized.